Hey, thanks for calling. I know you've had a long week, but we're all here for you. Thanks again for calling Three Wise Radio.
We did not have a high graduation rate.
I just really like hearing Sam say
Sick
dope
beats.
beats.
Sick beats, bro.
Oh, you'd enjoy this, Joe. I was at the conference. We were talking to the Shinola company that makes. Get to it. Give me 30 seconds. They their main product they make. They're a Detroit company and they make watches, and they're expanding into a bunch of different. And one thing that they're delving into now is audio. And making audio equipment. And he's like, but all their big thing is quality. Like, it's expensive. We're not going to have any of it. But then he just started ripping on Beats by Dre.
Good.
It's like you take this thing apart. It's just a status symbol. You take it apart. It's got $14 worth of audio equipment in it, and it does absolutely nothing. But it's cool to wear them. We want to be cool to wear them because of...
They actually work.
Because they're efficient. So like they also make bikes that cost $3,000, and like their cheapest watch is like $600. But I enjoy when somebody talks shit on Beats by Dre.
Yeah. No.
By Dre by Apple.
It literally is just you could buy.
Jay-Z.
Why do you have that?
Because I want to, and it's kind of a fashion statement at this point. I think.
Yeah.
Shows what you're into. Everybody's got headphones, but to have like
Headphones.
Be back in the
plugged in.
70s. Yeah.
Back in the 70s, as if we were time traveling.
More of that on the show. Welcome to Three Wise Radio, a podcast where we talk about movies, television, TV, the internet, technology. I'm trying to do better than Garrett last week. And everything else media related. My name is Joe Greller. I am one of the Three Wise Guys. Joining me as usual are the other two wise guys, Garrett Welker and Sam Pixley. 50. We've finally hit 50 episodes a year later. It's our 51st podcast, but our 50th episode.
You don't care how we're doing.
I'm doing great.
I'm doing great too, Joe. How are you doing?
Fine. I just wanted
Thanks for
to
asking.
get it out there, and then
I thought we'd at least make it to 100 before you stopped caring how it was feeling. That's not what this is about, Joe. Or at least until we got sponsorship.
Then we sell out.
How are you doing, Garrett?
I'm doing great.
That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear it.
Had a nice trip in LA last week.
Oh, that's wonderful. Glad to hear it. Yeah. Family okay? Everybody's good?
Yeah.
Perfect. See? That's how you talk to somebody, Joe.
so glad we got that out of the way. So since it is our 50th, we decided to have more than one guest this week. So join us for headlines. It's been a while since she's been here. Natalie, the Three Wise Gal, how are you doing?
I'm great, Joe. Thank you for asking.
Oh, no problem.
Fuck you, Joe.
Beep.
No, we don't beep anymore.
You don't beep anymore?
No.
That's not a free pass.
No.
All right.
All right.
So I can just talk normally.
I feel like this has become part of the show, too. So, Sam, explain.
Whenever anybody asks if we can curse, we say yes, and then they feel morally obligated to just curse all the time.
Oh, no.
And if you curse all the time, it makes it less good.
Oh, I just curse in normal.
Perfect.
I'm pretty sure I'm the guest with the most beeps on this.
Be moderate.
I will.
All right, let's delve into some headlines. Starting with some Star Wars news. Ewan McGregor said that he would be officially interested in reprising Obi-Wan Kenobi for 2 more Star Wars films, now claiming he's about the right age to portray where Alec Guinness was just about in the original. He's only 10 years younger than Alec Guinness in the original.
That's...
He's still... Oh, he's getting
10
there.
years, 10 years is a big difference, though.
Modern medicine.
Ewan McGregor is getting old, though.
He is. And it's
50s
easier to
now.
make someone look older than it is for someone to look younger still. I know we have the technology
Yeah, true.
now and all that other stuff, but all I'm saying is X3 and Apocalypse take place 2 years apart, and Patrick Stewart does not look like James
Patrick
McAvoy.
Stewart is an anomaly.
Twist my...
Patrick Stewart is an angel.
Yes, sure.
Sure. But what he's really hoping for is they do the Obi-Wan Kenobi story, part 1 and 2, about the time in between episodes 3 and 4.
No.
Just noted that story, and you don't want to see any more Ewan
expand. I don't want
McGregor.
to see anything about anybody we've already seen. Expand upon things we don't know.
Okay, say we do another movie in the same time setting as Rogue One. Would you want to see Ewan McGregor maybe pop up like in a small role as Obi-Wan Kenobi or Ben Kenobi?
Sure, as long as they don't make a big deal of it.
Okay, what about a flashback?
gonna be a big
But at
deal
that, no, I'm
regardless.
saying don't make a big deal of it in the movie because at that point he's not a big deal.
Right.
He's a nobody. He's a guy people in the town call Old Ben. Just a crazy
that's
dude.
fair.
Call him a wizard.
Yeah.
What about flashbacks in the new ones? Because there is the theory that he may be Rey's father.
If
or
there's
grandfather or
an
something.
addition to the story that's like a big reveal or something that we need, sure. But if it's just like, let's make an adventure where Ben Kenobi has to run off,
Scare
and
off
go
some
on an
sand
adventure
people?
and just abandon Luke for a month to do something, that's dumb. You could tell a story about somebody new, and it's Star Wars, so you're gonna make the money anyway. There's no reason not to do that.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to do it.
I agree with that.
I don't want it.
All right, then let's talk about the new trailers. Rogue One came out. I am refusing to watch it because I want to go into this as fresh as possible. The exact opposite theory that I had with The Force Awakens, but I feel like they've proven themselves now, so now I'm okay with not seeing as much as
They
possible.
had to prove themselves to Joe before.
They did. Think about every
They had to
like.
prove themselves to most people.
Yeah, I mean, you had a bad taste in your mouth after the prequels. Everyone did.
I would disagree,
Yeah.
though. Not proven yet.
Oh, you don't think they've proven themselves yet? Or?
Not for an anthology movie.
Okay. So you want to see as much as possible.
I'm going to look. Watching this trailer, I thought it looked really good, and I thought it still kind of looked like Edwards' original vision of like a war film. I'm going to have higher expectations for this movie than what I had for Force Awakens because of what I know it kind of was going to be, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
So I wasn't hoping for anything like incredible with the other Star Wars because hopefully it's good. Well, with this, I have high expectations.
All right.
So,
And what about the other one? Was it Old Republic or?
Yeah, the Old Republic. It was for the.
Now, what is that? Because it's not
It's
a
a
movie.
game.
Star Wars is dead to me.
It's a game.
the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a game?
Well, it's not. I mean, it's in books. It's in everything. It's the time before the Jedi fell.
Oh,
like,
so it's a tale as old as time.
first time. I think it's like 2,000 years before anything we've even seen. But it's essentially everybody's at full firepower. Like your Jedi are super strong, your Sith are super strong. There's more than just two Sith.
Mandalorian army and shit.
Yeah. Everything is basically an excuse to just be like, let's have this world where everybody's locked and loaded and everybody can do everything and force powers are outrageous and it's kind of a sandbox.
Yeah. But yeah, like Sam said, there's books. The Knights of the Old Republic games were based in this era, sort of thing. And I mean, I loved the Knights of the Old Republic games. Those were fantastic. I would love to get kind of a modern, I'm also excited. Like we talked about a while back on our last Star Wars discussion with like how they were kind of like pitching, like they just reached out to multiple game companies and it's like, hey, make a Star Wars game. Like,
Oh yeah, I remember
I'm excited
that
to see how this new universe is going to expand, I guess is what I should say.
Especially since they changed a lot of the rules, I guess, or timeline and everything else.
Yeah.
All right, moving on into some other news. Robert Downey Jr. may actually be the voice of Jarvis. Other than that, absolutely. So, Mark,
Really?
yes, Mark Zuckerberg is
Not
creating,
in any.
not in a movie.
Listen,
Right, we're right. Okay.
So Mark Zuckerberg
Reserving.
has been creating an AI for quite some time, and he's named it Jarvis. And he originally posted on his Facebook, "Who should I get to voice it?" Out of 39,000 comments, one was Robert Downey Jr. And his exact quote was, "I'll do it if Paul Bettany gets paid for it, and he donates it to a cause of Cumberbatch's choosing."
Okay. ... Okay.
That's the right kind of strange.
I hate this story.
To which Zuckerberg responded, "This just got real." So
Oh, I like this story.
This is
Involves
so
like
stupid.
all my favorite
I think it's a marketing ploy for.
No, it definitely
Oh,
is.
for
I
sure.
just hate it. It's a bunch of rich people talking about things that we'll never have. Like, this is hilarious. But we said the word charity, so it's fine.
He's not wrong.
In my defense, my football team did just get their butts whooped, so I am a little
Yeah, you know what? They're
downtrodden.
my football team too, and I'm making the most of it.
They're
Sam.
not really your football team.
I'm from Green Bay, Sam.
Doesn't make you a champion of them.
a champion. And then let's just go with fan.
Oh my god.
A champion. She's representing them in the battle of the contest.
In Sam's defense, he's actually wearing the jersey.
That's true, but I had rehearsal. I don't have any. I have no excuse not to be wearing my jersey today. I'm sorry, Sam. I let you down by not wearing my jersey, but I am drinking out of your Packers cup. So.
You didn't let me down. They did. What were we talking about? Oh, this stupid thing.
Yes.
Why would you want Robert Downey Jr. to voice it?
Why not?
Got a lovely voice.
Would you rather have Sam Jackson? I mean, people wanted him to do
I'd rather have Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd rather not have someone real. I'd want someone I didn't know.
Someone not real.
But then they're typecasted forever. Then say that person becomes famous later.
No, you just make it like a robot. Make it something that's not just like
Well, the robot
Robert Downey Jr. is telling me I gotta get up and go pick up my kids. I don't like that.
I mean, that robot has
I
to...
would like that.
That robot has to have some sort of sample.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. Not in today's. I don't know. Whatever.
All right, then do a little bit more, I guess, happier news for Sam because it's Halloween. Friday the 13th game. It's not that much
Push back.
happy.
It's not good news.
But it's adding single
Sam's having
player.
a rough day, guys.
So,
The whole allure of this game is multiplayer.
He's not wrong on that.
true. But it's getting pushed back to summer of 2017.
It's so distracting.
You got nothing on this?
I know. I'm so distracted by. I don't know why. It's fucking me up. I can't stop listening to him talk. All right.
Jesus.
So, what bothered me about this game is the entire allure is the different kind of multiplayer that you have one person versus 5 different people, and it's just a new element that's only really been tried and like evolved, which in and of itself was a big failure. But I like the idea of it. But to take time and effort and money and energy away from making sure that that's exactly what it needs to be and to try and put a single player in it for people that maybe don't have online multiplayer, I think it's just a mistake. A game like this usually bleeds out when they try and spend too much money, which is another thing I'm worried about for Titanfall 2, is that they added a single player. You don't need it. Everybody at this point has multiplayer, and the people that don't, it's a sacrifice you have to make.
What about, okay, because we've said this before in the show. I'm like the game idiot here. I don't know much when it comes to games. What would adding a single player even do to like a disc nowadays or a download? Does it just add more memory to what
It's
you
just
need?
it's going to take up more. It's going to take up more space. But like that's not a big thing as far as like if you're talking about like graphics and texture and things like that. It's just going to eat up more of the company's time.
Yeah.
And it might limit some things that you can do in single player because you do have to save room for things that happen in single player or multiplayer versus single player.
Okay. Moving on to some Women of DC news. The first picture of Mara dropped of Amber Heard, and it looks amazing. It looks exactly like Mara.
Did you see it?
No, I have not seen it,
Pull it up right now, because
but I like all things involved.
oh my god.
And it also proves that all that stuff that we heard about her and Johnny Depp didn't affect filming because they said they
You
casted
don't
her.
know if they filmed anything. It could have just taken a picture of her in a suit.
And
And
Very
she's just in
true.
the background of a shot.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, it's so good.
It is. It's very good. It looks like it's
So
exactly
good.
out of the
Such a
comics.
badass. I love it.
DC, best thing they got
I
going
love
for
it.
them. They've nailed every single casting they've done.
Yeah, that's really
That is
Ooh, I'm
true,
very excited about that.
which is interesting because I didn't think they would be able to do that. I mean, you hear like Marvel's like, oh, we're so good at casting. We hit this, we hit this, we hit this. But Marvel more so gets names. Not to say that like Amber Heard is not a name, but she's not a big name.
No, she's
like
not.
Brie Larson or something like that going out. Henry Cavill, not a name at all really before
DC gets
Superman.
Not to belittle Marvel, but I think DC. I don't know because Marvel's hit it really well. It just feels like DC is more attuned to the characters that would fit these roles, like finding them as opposed to seeing like
finding
okay,
a
what are
big
the top 50 celebrities? Which of them would be the best Captain America?
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Because I mean, if you were listing Mara, Amber Heard would not be top on the list. People would be like, oh, Brie Larson could do it, and there's probably like fan art of Brie Larson as that character. But I don't know. I like that.
I'll
it seems
say
like they're hunting
that
for
between
people.
her and Jason Momoa, I've never been more excited for Aquaman
Yeah.
ever in my life.
Yeah.
They could kill anything.
I'm just like giddy with excitement. I'm just like, I want
fidgeting
it.
over here.
I want it.
We got it. We get it.
I know. It looks good. It's gonna be good.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
gonna
it'll
he's
be
gonna
right.
chug some vodka and jump right into a wave. We've already seen it.
I thought you said he's gonna jump right into a whale. And it's like, no, Jesus, why would he do that?
He might.
He might. You don't know. He can
There
talk
are
to
no
them.
limits.
All right.
All right. Also in some DC Women of DC news, I believe I'm saying her name right. Of course, I got to get back to butchering names because now I'm doing headlines again. Patty Jenkins, I believe, is the Wonder Woman director.
How would you fuck that up?
I have messed up. My ability to mess up names is very prominent. Don't never doubt my ability to mispronounce a name.
All right.
Anyway, she's discussed that she looked a lot to Christopher Reeve's Man of Steel while filming Wonder Woman, so it will be in the inspirational vein of the Superman movie, of the Richard Donner Superman movie. Do you think that this is actually true, or this is more just DC trying to be like, look, we are going in a more positive, lighter tone?
I'm so negative with this, but no, I don't think it. No. Well, okay.
No to what?
Okay, so yes. Look, okay, hear me out. You want her to be a very inspirational character because she is big on humanity and love and like peace, but peace through war if need be. So yes, you want her to instill those characteristics, but you also have to have something happen to her in this movie that's so bad that she completely abandons the world of men. This is a prequel. Something has to happen to her so bad that she completely abandons...
Well, does she abandon the world of men or does she embrace it? Because when we meet her in Batman vs. Superman, she is very much in the world of man.
Right, but she's not helping anything. She's not doing anything. She's kind of just surviving in it. Like, it appears collecting antiquities.
Oh, so do you think this is going to end
that.
on a real downer where she abandons the world of man but still can't go back to Amazonia?
I'm thinking something horrible happens at Themyscira, like she gets kicked out for what looks like in the trailer bringing war to them. So that's what I'm saying. Is I think this ends on a bad note. Otherwise, what is it going to end in an uplifting note? And she's like, "This is amazing, but I'm not going to be Wonder Woman anymore in this world."
Until
okay, you're right. I like
hundreds
this
of
theory.
years down the line, it's like, you know what? This Bruce Wayne guy looks like he needs some help.
Yeah.
No, I'll
So
give
like,
you that.
it's a little conflicting. I get that they need to be super happy and hopeful because
That's
$800 million isn't enough to make in a movie, but
The female perspective?
I do agree with him, but I think it will be different because she's a woman. I think she's such a
Why?
significant. She's such a significant female empowerment symbol that I don't know. It's gonna be hard to fuck that up.
what does that have to do with hope, though? What does that have to do with like?
It means that like women are already the. I need to say this without sounding like way too feminist and way too like.
Don't worry, I'll.
feminist. It's going to be hard for her to do something as fucked up as like.
Just say it and we'll smooth out
Let
the
me
edges.
just like collect my thoughts for a second.
Sure. I mean, I'll mention something that I
Yeah.
thought was really cool about Wonder Woman while you're thinking, and it touches on the feminist note a little bit that I really enjoy. I can't. I'm totally blanking, but the creator of Wonder Woman, or
Oh, William.
no, maybe it wasn't even the creator, but maybe it's somebody who's
'Cause
writing
Creator's been
him
dead
right
for a
now.
while.
There was a story that came
And
out.
not
And
a
I'm
good
totally
feminine,
blanking.
yeah.
I'm totally blanking on it. There was a story that came out now that was like, yeah, she's a lesbian in the comics. Like, she's totally a lesbian. You think she lived on Themyscira for all this time? They were all lesbians because they're still sexual beings and they have to do that. So they talked about it in the movie, and whenever Gal Gadot was asked about it, she always said, well, like, we didn't bring it up. Like, maybe it's a factor of her, but it's not something that's relevant in this
Yeah,
movie.
why
Like,
it's not
she's
important.
a champion of humanity, so like it's not something we addressed, so it's not something that's relevant. And I really liked that. I thought that was really refreshing. Like, a character, regardless of male or female, doesn't need a love interest. Maybe Chris Pine is a love interest, but like it's not
necessary.
relevant to what her character is. So
It's part of her character, but it's not at like it's not essential to her character.
See, and I
can
would have went a
also
little
go-
bit.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, that's where I was going with that. From a guy standpoint, I was actually the most excited to see like the guy version of the first guy version of Lois Lane, basically. Like I was excited to see the role reversal and how that would be attacked in a movie.
Yeah. Okay, that could be very interesting, but it's not necessary.
No, it isn't necessary, but it's also never been done in film where you have like the female superhero, because there's never really been a female superhero major market release.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
think
I
know
wanted
what
to
was
see.
trying to say.
Okay.
So it is easier for us to make a movie about a male superhero who's cast out than it is to cast out a female superhero. Does that make sense? So I think it's going to be really hard for them to find something that makes
Yes.
society want to cast her out because she's female and females are naturally loving and caring. And
wait, you mean Themyscira casting her out? Like women casting her out?
No.
Or-
Just like for her to be like, I can't be Wonder Woman in this world anymore. She's got to do something. Like, it's going to be hard for I got up till that point, and now you asked me that question, and I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
though?
like something will happen that she's gonna want to stop being Wonder Woman, but it's gonna be hard for us as an audience to
grasp
get
that.
behind that.
Where if she were male, it's just, the mindset is it's easier for us to cast out a man.
I mean, yeah. I don't personally see that. I think it's just going to see the atrocities of war.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I think that's going to be a big mindset.
There better be mustard gas in this movie. Mustard gas is huge. And trench warfare.
They're probably Prussian helmets with spikes on them.
Why were those not used as weapons? Were those used as weapons? They were there? Okay.
I mean, that's definitely not your go-to because you have a gun. But if you need to, yes. But you also have a knife. Like, it's definitely a last resort.
All right, our final headline. Apparently, I am not excited for this whatsoever, this show. But Legion...
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I know. Legion on FX. Jeff Loeb, who is in charge of the Marvel side of the TV universe, has done great work with the Netflix stuff. He's worked on the DC side of television before, back in its heyday when they were doing really good stuff. And he has talked about how this is going to be the first X-Men product that will be somehow apparently woven into the Marvel universe.
Is it the Marvel universe or is it the X-Men universe?
Because I think in an interview, he was asked like, "Is this going to tie into like the actual Marvel universe?" And he's like, "We're working on like building bridges." I think
was his exact term. Yes,
something he said.
Because while they own the movie rights, TV rights for X-Men is basically fair game.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time getting excited about.
See, I liked Apocalypse.
I don't love the direction it's going in.
It was fine, but it's not. Like, it was a good movie. It
was a complete nostalgia thing.
When we did it was a good movie, but we're at the point now where there's been so much, and they tried to do a soft reboot, but you're still linked to the old universe. So it's like you've limited yourself because at some point you can't keep doing half reboots. Because how long are you going to have Fassbender and McAvoy? How long?
Until they die, because now they're just getting older and older.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's where Magneto and Xavier shine, is when they're in their olderness.
Like, this is almost a thing where, as much as I love them and as they are the best part of these movies, what you'd have to do is do like an alternate timeline where they both die. And you have the 5 kids being like, okay, let's try and figure this out. So it's essentially Wolverine and the X-Men, where he makes he takes over the school, but get rid of him.
No, even that. Do what they did in the Ultimate Universe. I thought that was one of the most compelling storylines in the Ultimate Universe after Xavier and Magneto were dead. And it was, where do we go from here? Like the two figure. Well, I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like, used Wolverine and the X-Men, but then you're like, take out Wolverine.
That story also fits. You just get rid of Wolverine. But yeah, it's what happens afterwards. And it gives it, because it completely opens the playing field of like, this is a different timeline. This stuff could have matched up with, and I guess you could have done that with Apocalypse, but now you're going to need some other kind of entity to make it happen. Some kind of strong enough event that dictates this going in a different direction than what the other movies have. So like, this was online for that, but now it's not.
Do you just hit a hard reboot on this? After Old Man Logan, do you just hit a hard reboot on the universe because you know you're done with Jackman?
Well, also like, how much more can Jennifer Lawrence give us? Like, how much
she said she's done. Yeah, she said she was done after Apocalypse anyway.
So did Daniel Craig, but it sounds like he might be coming back. I think you need to do something different. I think you need a purge. But I also think you need to not do Professor X. Like, I think you need to do this a different way. I
read something interesting when I was out of town, and it was an article. I've found several articles all saying that we might actually be converging with this Fox and Marvel thing.
I mean, I think
going towards like an X-Men versus Avengers sort of thing.
I think it's only a matter of time, because the one thing Marvel has succeeded at was making their B tier, and I know I say it all the time. I'm sorry, but they were B tier before these movies came out. These B tier heroes, and making them switch, essentially doing a complete 180. Spider-Man survived, but X-Men didn't. It was X-Men was your A class with Spider-Man, and then Avengers was your B team. Now it's Avengers is your A team with Spider-Man, and now you have X-Men kind of sitting down in your B area. Maybe even C after these Netflix shows take off.
You have to do something. And I think this is kind of what you're saying, is like, you're not excited because like the movies were okay. Like, you liked them, you not so much. Natalie,
they were entertaining.
They were
just not.
But you have to do something so dynamic that it reinvigorates the franchise. That also makes Marvel happy and makes Fox happy. I'm thinking like a complete, almost like what they did in Ultimate Universe. Wipe it all out, but then you let 5 of them carry over into the Marvel Universe, and that's why, like, who are these people? What are they? Oh, we're mutants. Do you guys not have mutants? Well, we didn't think we did. Oh, shit. Yes, we do. And then you kind of extend it through that and then let those worlds play off in each other, almost like what DC is doing with its TV shows. And now you have, they're in separate universe, or they're in the same universe, but they do their own things. And then occasionally, if Fox and Marvel could do like almost a crossover, but with a giant movie. You need to do something that drastic.
I think that's where all these are headed for Marvel. I think eventually, once we hit like our second casting of all these characters and like the new Avengers teams, think about like all the television stars who jump to movies or all the movie stars who jump to television. Once you get the big money names out of there, like Downey and Evans and Scarlett Johansson, you have these people who won't mind doing a television show, once a year. So you can flesh out these villains, you can flesh out these character developments, and then your big climactic battles almost are your summer movies. I mean, they've done it before. X-Files. I mean, I was going to say Batman 66.
Well, the thing is, that's just tricky because with the rate that these are going, you don't stay not famous for long once you start doing these movies.
Yeah.
All the more reason to start doing it, maybe. Money, money, money.
Legion looks horrible, personally.
I would agree.
My mom says I shouldn't listen to Three Wise Radio, but I do it anyways.
All right, so we should make an apology, I guess, because for a while now we were saying that we were going to do Inferno review this week.
Did you guys not see it?
But apparently, Inferno comes out in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, look for our Inferno review for our next installment of the movie train.
No way.
It was supposed to happen.
But it got us thinking, we wish we could time travel in either back or forwards to either bring you the review now or correct this mistake. So what is your favorite time travel movie? Now, much like we did with our very first podcast when we talked about space movies, but we excluded Star Wars because Star Wars is the iconic space movie. We're going to exclude Back to the Future from these time travel movies. If you want to listen to us talk about Back to the Future, we did so with Jeremy Barrett on a Back to the Future special
10 years ago.
Last year around this time.
1 year ago.
It's way back where we show Sam the movies for the first time and actually do a little bit of time traveling in that cast. It's a great cast. I recommend listening to it. What is your favorite time travel movie?
That's hard.
And what constitutes a time travel movie? Does Superman the movie constitute as it's a time travel movie?
No, that constitutes as a mistake. I think
that's a fair question, though.
Yeah, no, totally. It's similar to what's a party movie. I think the main premise has to incorporate time travel, not like a happy surprise at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want me to go first?
You can. I was going to help kind of narrow it down for people that are still thinking, but if you know what yours is, then yeah, if you want to, go for it.
Okay. Okay, then if you want to narrow it down, let's see if mine fit into your criteria.
I was just going to say, because it basically, I was doing research to try and see, because there's so many different types of time travel, and I think what interests me is to me personally, it's not about the movie, it's actually about the method in which time travel is done. So that's something that actually we're going to talk about when we do our zombie thing as well, is when you have a time travel movie, do you like to know the methodology behind it? Do you not really care? Does it matter to you? Because personally, the more you tell me about the science of it and how it works, the more I like it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Same. The more that they're like, this is how this works and this is why this works, I love that.
You may not like my choice then.
You will hate my choice.
Good. I already do.
That's
So basically what I was just going to say, what I was kind of, to narrow it down before, is what's your favorite kind of time travel? Because basically you've got kind of three ways that they do this in the movies. You've got a fixed timeline, a dynamic timeline, and a multiverse situation. Multiverse, obviously, you travel in time, it starts a parallel reality. Fixed timeline is things can't change. So say, for instance, what's the example they use is, hey, if you travel back in time to kill Hitler, you kill Hitler, the family ends up adopting a baby and creating Hitler anyway. Like that baby ends up being Hitler and you didn't even know it. And then dynamic is you can adjust things. But
I always love how Hitler is used in the time travel theory.
Well, it's the easiest thing. It's the easiest thing in the world.
Thing.
You can kill Stalin if you want. Doesn't matter. So what do you guys kind of prefer?
I prefer the multidimensional one.
Okay. I do
Same.
not.
But I don't know if to where like if you do something that splits off into an alternate reality and that splits off into an alternate reality.
That's how it works in a parallel in the multidimensional.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Really? And that might be because of Back to the Future. Like I said, like to me, and we talked about this, another cast. That's like my rules for time travel in my head.
Is Back to the Future parallel reality?
Yeah, because in 2, when they change the almanac and they skew and they come into a different universe where Biff is like in power,
But
See,
and everything else.
I don't think
that's
Back
a
to the Future is multiple realities.
It's just like it's a fluid reality or sort of thing.
I've
Like,
got it as a dynamic.
yeah, because like it's
'Cause then
still
you can
it's still that
fix it.
same.
Yeah,
It's still
alternate
that.
events in the past can impact the future.
Yeah.
So it'll change it. It's the same timeline, but it will adjust it.
Okay, maybe then. Okay, then
Yeah,
I
that
like
would
then
be,
I,
that would be a dynamic.
Okay,
thing
then
to
I
do
like the
back.
dynamic, but my choice still doesn't. My choice is a time travel movie, but it has nothing real. But all the stuff you just said is out the window. They don't
Yeah,
explain
same.
It, don't,
Mine
don't
is like
think-
that too.
I would
wonder if we're
say
thinking
I
about the same
prefer
It
one.
might be.
dynamic in
I have 2.
Okay,
as a movie viewer.
go.
See, it's interesting because I mean, without the parallel, I also like the idea of a timeline fights back. I like the idea of like time
Tries to correct itself.
doesn't want, yeah, like if you look at it as a wave, like it doesn't want to be disrupted. It wants to maintain a balance. So I like that, but I think I prefer the dynamic timeline because there's more at stake.
It's not a movie, but 11/22/63 was a great example of that.
Yeah.
Where once it keeps correcting itself and something is going to happen no matter what.
Yeah. All right. So then, what's your favorite?
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, I almost said that one. I didn't know.
Has nothing to do with your rules. Has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
But it is clearly a time travel movie. They visit so many different eras. There is a machine that causes them to travel to different points in reality.
No, that's fine. Totally legitimate.
But I was just laughing when you're like, here are the rules. And I'm like, this fits none of these.
Do you want to just get all the ones you're going to hate out of the way? Because then I'll go
fine.
second.
No, it doesn't bother. You're totally entitled to that opinion. Yeah, I mean it's a fun movie. I don't think anybody would argue against that.
No.
That third one's still coming. Is it still in the pipeline?
Not if he keeps making John Wick sequels, I think. I think he's going to have enough paychecks. And if they redo The Matrix.
I think
Yeah.
he can still do it.
It's Alex
I
Winter.
think he might still do it.
He might.
Nostalgia.
It's the other guy who needs the money. He was doing guest spots on Bones once in a while.
No.
Hey, Bones is a show.
Well, what's yours, Natalie?
Mine, I have 2. One is, I'm going to mention the least important one first, Stardust. Anybody? No?
No.
Neil Gaiman? Okay, we won't talk about it then. Midnight in Paris is my favorite. Midnight in Paris is absolutely a time travel
Who's the
movie.
director? Woody Allen. It's fucking Woody Allen. Get out of here.
It's still a time
Does
travel
he
movie.
at some point show up and explain how time travel works?
I don't remember.
I don't watch Woody Allen
I hate
movies. I'm
Woody
sorry.
Allen.
This
You
movie
know it
is
when you
so
see it.
good, you guys.
I'm ashamed we don't know the Neil Gaiman one.
Why does
'cause
he
it's
time
really
travel?
He doesn't mean to. He stumbles upon it.
Owen
He's
Wilson
in
stumbles
Paris,
upon
He's
it.
in Paris,
Cool.
and it's watch it. It's really good, and I think
Why
you would
does he?
actually
But why
like
does
the
he
movie.
time travel? Slash how? So that's the thing is if it's just like oh I woke up and I'm back in time, I don't care.
Here's the. Did you read the? Just read it. Just read it.
This will make for compelling podcast.
Yeah.
His name's Gil. Ugh.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's a screenwriter and aspiring
But yes,
novelist.
you should know Stardust. Neil Gaiman. Stardust is crazy good. It's about this kid and his dad who live in this fantasy world, and there's a wall at the end of their town, and you can't go past the wall. There's always this old man guarding it, and they never know why. But you get the backstory before all of this. And one day he crosses the wall, and he finds this completely different time and place. And his mother is trapped there. It's so good. And the star falls from the sky, and it's Claire Danes, and it's so good. you need to watch it.
Sam, what's your favorite time travel?
It's a tough one because there's so many different things going on. I thought Looper again for me it's about
Looper is a
how
good
time
one.
travel works. So I don't have one that's my go-to. I really liked the way that time travel worked in Looper. I thought they did a pretty good job of explaining it.
Mm-hmm.
But probably my favorite time travel besides Hot Tub Time Machine, which is obviously the best
Ooh, that's also a good time.
ever.
The first one, second one, no.
My favorite method of time travel, if anybody's seen the movie Primer,
I'm not.
it's 2004. So essentially, it delves really deep into how it's done. So these guys, essentially two men build a time machine, and the way that it works is you set the time machine, you then leave the time machine, go do your business. You basically like look up stocks and things like that, find out how to make money because you have a 6-hour window. As soon as you leave, 10 minutes later, your second person comes out of the time machine and then starts life. 6 hours after your original copy gets all the information they need, they crawl into the box. And then that's them crawling out of the box 10 minutes after you left. It's very confusing, but it's like
So
one
confusing.
loop. So essentially, so I would come up, I would start the box,
No, I got you.
I would then leave, and then as soon as I crawl into the box, that version of me no longer exists.
So which one does
Damn.
this fall
Okay.
under?
This one would be a dynamic timeline.
Okay.
Because essentially it's also about two people who don't trust each other because they start using it in ways that they shouldn't, and then they stop trusting each other, and then you find out they're time traveling against each other constantly. It's really interesting. It's really far out, but they do a great job
I feel
of
anxiety
going
about
into
it.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah. 'Cause he's like, oh, I time traveled so that we didn't know how to do this anymore. Well, I already did time travel and I made a bigger one. Fuck you. Like, it's really intense, but it's really good too.
Damn.
Low budget too, I think.
That sounds really
Okay.
cool.
Garrett?
12 Monkeys.
That is
Ooh.
that is a
The
great
show,
one.
The movie.
the classic
Good
show.
movie.
That's fair.
Some of Brad Pitt's finest work that
I-
just gets left by the wayside.
Yeah, that's true.
I just remember watching that movie as a kid and not knowing what the hell was going on.
That is fair.
Because I also think I missed like the first part of the movie, like when they're like, "Hey, we're gonna send you back in time."
That's
so
exactly.
I just remember
what happened
watching.
to me.
What are you doing here?
I just remember watching this movie and like watching Bruce Willis try and fight. I just thought it was like a Bruce Willis movie, and like action.
not
movie.
wrong.
Well,
Literally
I was
the
like, this
exact
guy
same thing happened
This guy
to me.
is a crazy man. He didn't travel through time. That never happened.
yeah, and so I was like, oh, I guess he's trying to stop a virus. Yeah. But then I went and watched it again. I was like,
Totally
oh,
understand this movie.
that makes sense now. And I just kind of because it happens anyways, doesn't it?
Yeah, he fails.
Yeah. And I just
It's the best ending ever. We can say it. It's
Yeah.
like decades old. The traumatization of what he witnessed when he was young is himself getting killed. Is the older version of
Yeah.
himself getting killed. Like the ending is the best part of that movie.
Which is
Other than
that's,
Brad
and
Pitt.
that's the fixed timeline. That's where you get stuck. They're like, no matter what you did, it doesn't matter because it all happened already anyway. So similar to like the Hitler thing again. Say I traveled back in time to kill Hitler, it doesn't matter because you already did travel back in time. So really, you can't do anything because
Yeah.
everything's already happened.
yeah.
Which is kind of compelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
I personally like a time travel movie that has a bad ending. Like,
Like?
you don't
Yeah.
win
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
with time travel. Like it's essentially
Well, Sam
playing
doesn't
God.
like happy endings.
Okay.
No,
so-
I love a happy ending in almost everything else, but in time travel, I think. Shut up, Alex.
Alex, let's talk
What do you
about
want to
time.
say? Hurry up.
Get
You have
over
30.
here.
You have 30 seconds.
Get over here. Time travel movies. Why'd you want to pitch in if you didn't know?
Do we get to say something? What are we talking about, guys?
Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, is the greatest time travel movie ever made. If that doesn't float your boat, gold member.
That's not time travel.
That's totally time travel.
In Goldmember? Oh
He
yeah, it is.
travels
Oh
back
god,
70.
yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're 10,000 times right.
You're gonna cut that out, right?
No.
Okay, well.
All right. So
but to be fair, you already told me I couldn't talk about my favorite time travel anything.
we'll get to that in a second because
Okay.
that was about TV, and we'll go with that. But some other time travel movies: Groundhog Day, Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
I said that one too.
What else do we have? Oh, the entire Terminator series is essentially a time travel series, other than the fourth one. I don't think there's any time travel in the fourth
Yeah,
one.
but they don't go into how it just happens. They're just able to.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever do in the later ones either. They're like, we're traveling in time. How? Yup. Here we go.
That's why. That's not why you're here. You're here to see robots fight.
Tis true.
That's absolutely true.
Tis true.
The Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, we did that. What a weird series that is.
Yep.
It's like with the first one, and then the second one was like, felt like direct to release, but it wasn't. It's just a weird.
Edge of Tomorrow, the Tom Cruise movie where he keeps dying.
I like that
Groundhog
one.
Day,
I like
Tom
Groundhog
Cruise.
I like that one because they explain it.
The entire Planet of the Apes series, at least the first the first three. There's time travel in the first three original Planet of the
The
Apes.
originals, yes.
The Time Machine.
Yep. Almost focuses solely on time travel.
More than one.
Traveler's Wife.
More than
Time
one
Traveler's
version.
Wife.
It's a little too in your face about it.
I'll mention this one, The Final Countdown, because my parents will want me to mention it. It's about basically a battleship that I think it's like a 1980 modern day battleship who then winds up in World War II.
And kick ass because they have a modern
I
day
don't
battleship.
remember. I've never watched it.
Is that something you guys? Maybe it's just me. Is that something that you've ever wondered? Like, if I went back in time.
What would you
Like-
take with you?
No. Not if I go. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of what's a famous war back in the day.
Civil War.
Civil War. If I went back in time with full modern military gear, would I just be able to turn the entire tide of war?
Yeah.
Like if I had
That is
a
essentially
Absolutely.
what original
Humvee with
war
a 50
is.
cal machine gun on it, and I was just like Washington or not Civil War, not Washington. Let's do
Revolutionary.
Revolutionary War. Washington, where do you need me? I would just mow down.
He
the
just wants to
coast.
talk about Washington.
Okay, am I not the only person that's thought about that?
No.
What would it take for me to bring back if I just brought back a machine gun? Would it be enough?
Probably.
I don't know.
Yes.
Being able muskets, funny guys out there from afar. Like, yes.
Something that you could kill hundreds of people.
Some sequels, just only sequels that have time travel in them. X-Men: Days of Future Past, Men in Black 3. Interstellar is technically a time travel movie
Yeah.
as well.
By accident.
I feel like Interstellar's kind of like, what was the one that we said you couldn't do?
Back to the Future.
No, the other one.
What?
Back to the Future Part 2.
Part
No.
3? Everything else is on the table.
No, the one where we said it was like a happy accident time travel. Superman.
Oh,
I feel like
Yeah.
Interstellar's was like a Superman. It's like we're gonna just suddenly like bend the rules of time and space so we can save these people.
Well, they also delve into good concepts in Interstellar with
oh no, keep going. I was going to bring up one last version. By the way, Army of Darkness is another sequel with time travel.
You're right.
All right, the last version of time travel movie. What do you guys think about the romantic time travel movie, like Kate and
like Time
Leopold
Traveler's
or
Wife?
the
Get
Time
the fuck
Traveler's
outta here.
Wife?
No.
No, just don't want it at all.
Leopold's a good movie.
Do they time travel?
Or like the
Hugh Jackman.
the
time
lake
travels.
house.
Is that
With
technically
San-
time
with
travel?
Sandra
It
Bullock and
is.
It's an
Keanu
accidental
Reeves?
time travel. The
Well,
only
it's
notes
all-
time travel. Like he doesn't time travel
The
But
notes
it's
time travel.
still
because they put him in the mailbox. Only things that
definitely
go in that
still
mailbox.
think
That's why
it's
there's the
a time-
Family Guy joke where
the mailbox is a time machine, so therefore it's time travel.
very tiny time machine.
For letters.
But is any person time travel?
I don't think so.
Could Keanu like stick his hand in the mailbox? And
There's a
then
Family Guy
he would
joke where
shake
Keanu
I
just
think so.
sticks something else in the
his
mailbox.
penis?
Yes.
It's too powerful.
We did not, but timeline. Oh my! I'm changing my answer to timeline.
If you ever want to travel in time and then gang up on everyone,
Oh, yep, that's it. Timeline. Best
That's it.
best time travel
End of
movie ever.
conversation.
It's alive! Master, what is it? Three Wise Radio!
But sticking with our horror theme for the month, last week was sexy vampires. This week is zombies. Sam, what's our unique take on zombies this week?
so zombie movies have kind of been done to death, right?
Haha, yes.
No, it wasn't even a joke, but I think there's been a lot of them over the last. I think they've kind of slowed down
Yeah.
over the last couple of years. So I'm a little more particular when it comes to seeing one.
I feel like we hit our low point with World War Z.
Yeah, that's getting another one though. I didn't think it was that bad, but
Eh.
anyway. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of poll the team and figure out if Three Wise Productions were to make a zombie movie, what would be the zombie movie? So essentially, we're going to do a vote on the how many elements
Attributes
is
of
it?
zombies.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attributes of what makes a zombie movie. Vote on it, and then that will tell us the setting, the type, everything that would go into our zombie movie.
Okay.
Our ideal movie.
Okay.
All right.
Everybody
this.
good with that?
I thought we
We
should
should
do sexy
also-
zombies again, but
We
you
should
shit,
also
that might be
mention
it.
that because it is another horror segment installment, our senior sexy correspondent is back again this week,
Who's that?
Alex Klier.
There you go.
How you
He's looking
doing?
good today, bud.
he's your senior zombie.
There are sexy zombies.
And my qualification for being here is that I wrote a feature-length Nazi zombie movie.
What was it called?
It's called They Are Zombies. I didn't pull any punches with that one.
Is it one of the great scripts where the title is said in the movie?
Yes, it is.
Excellent. Is it to identify that they are, in fact,
Zombies? Yes.
All right, so feel free to cite whatever movie you think best reinforces this point. First off, time frame. Is this going to be, do you prefer a movie that's post-apocalyptic or mid-outbreak, like during the outbreak? During? Why?
It gives you a better chance to relate to the living characters, because any good zombie movie should have a plot that could exist on its own, and the zombies is just like an extra layer of stress on top of that, which then makes the story resolve itself. So a modern day story, or like a story before the outbreak, allows you to connect with the audience, or the audience to connect with the characters rather, a little bit more easily than a post-apocalyptic world where you're just dropped in the middle of the story where everyone's like, okay, this is how we deal with zombies. The zombies are no longer a stressor.
What if there's like a really cool 10-minute intro montage of like, before the zombies, there was Essex Corpse.
Are you just basically going Resident Evil?
Yeah,
Yes.
That's
fair.
You,
That's
you
fair
could
point.
you could do that, but I mean, and then also thinking back on all of my favorite zombie movies, they are like Shaun of the Dead, where it's like the zombie apocalypse happens.
It's during the outbreak, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to go during the outbreak, too, because it makes the ending more stomachable. I mean, we've had this conversation millions of times off the cast, but I'm not a huge fan of zombie movies because I know the ending before it happens. They all die.
You not necessarily.
I don't count Shaun of the Dead. It's more of a comedy than a real, like, straight horror movie. So, like...
Zombie movies don't have to be horror movies.
Other than...
Fido.
I've never seen it. I don't even know.
90% of zombie movies.
But anyway, in most of them, they all die at the end. Like, it makes that if it's already post-apocalyptic, I'm like, well, why was no one already working on this cure? Why wasn't no one doing anything?
Okay, that's fair. I personally like the outbreak as well because I think the post-apocalyptic movies have a tendency to get too gimmicky. Like, oh, there's one tower in the sky that a corrupt businessman is taking over, and
Yeah.
like I think there's always got to be and it's kind of what you're saying. Like, in order to be relatable, it has to kind of create some kind of weird thing that you can look at.
Yeah.
That's not really well articulated by
So
me.
wait,
but
so wait, like what would we consider like during the outbreak?
Would you
beginning to
consider
like 28 days later
Yes.
during the outbreak? Or would you consider that post-apocalyptic?
I would say for him, I would say it's post-apocalyptic, but it has the caveat of he is embracing. We get it from his perspective. So I would still say 28 Days Later is post-apocalyptic.
Okay.
But it's so good. I mean, I love that movie, but
That's
it's so good
like my
because...
quintessential zombie movie.
There you go. And that's fair, but it's so good because we see it from his eyes as someone's like, what?
Yeah, you gotta have that learning curve. Like, oh, what's a headshot? That's the only way that you can kill them. Fantastic! Now I know this. As opposed to in post-apocalyptic, everyone's just like already a badass. That's no fun. You want to see people learning and going on crazy adventures.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. All right, so Outbreak. Now, getting into a little juicier. What's the cause? Do we like virus or virus or disease, or do we like undead, unexplained?
Virus and disease.
Okay.
That, to me, that makes it a bit more believable. Like, that could easily happen in today's world. So it makes me feel like I could actually kind of be like learning something out of it, if that makes sense.
That's totally legitimate. I always say that the scariest horror movies are when it's a family getting attacked or something. Whenever it's like, oh, there's an exorcist or something, that's when I'm immediately like, well, I can pull myself out of it because the odds of a little girl actually having a demon in her are slim. A family next door going crazy and killing you, sadly, is not as slim.
Yeah.
I like undead just because virus makes it about finding a cure, whereas undead also gives you the factor of the unknown, and that's what makes a horror movie scary, is not knowing. Like, you know, you're not scared of Jaws because you see him, you're scared because you know he's out there. Like, the threat is out there somewhere.
Also,
you don't know what it is exactly.
It's very big with The Walking Dead, too. Spoilers if you haven't read it or seen it, but it's like The Walking Dead isn't the zombies, it's everyone that's still alive. Because you know if you die, you will become...
A zombie.
No. Yeah, but you will become a zombie. Like, the check is cashed. So there's no trying to find a cure. There's no any of that. It's just like, this is the situation we're in. We're stuck. So That's a compelling point. Joe.
I'm going to go with, what are my options again?
Disease/virus or undead.
I'm going to go with undead because it brings back the original, what zombies were originally, a voodoo status, like just raising them from the dead, not the flesh-eating Romero kind. And that's when zombies were the most appealing to me, when there was some sort of spiritual element attached to them. That's when the undead is always the most interesting to me, as opposed to this mindless thing that we don't know why. Like you were talking about how you want time travel explained. I always want my zombies explained, and it never really is.
But then wouldn't you prefer a virus or a disease?
No, because...
If you want them explained. Unless you want the undead explained that, like, a voodoo guy put a curse on the world.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, to me, there is an explanation when it's always that. With a virus or disease, it's like, what is the element of this disease? We can't cure it. Why can't we cure it? And you know what I'm saying? It leaves more questions than answers with the virus or the disease, in my opinion.
Whereas if you're like, oh, it's magic voodoo, and you're just like, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
magic
voodoo.
voodoo.
There's my answer.
Yeah.
Again, 28 Days Later goes really into that. Like, it's an extended form of rabies. So they do a good job of kind of getting into that a little bit. Okay, so what if I throw it this way? Because it seems like we're kind of split. Would you also like the idea of it being unknown? You don't know.
No.
You definitely want to know. Okay. Which one's my favorite? I would probably have to go with...
Zombie movies are just very frustrating to me.
I'd have to go probably virus or disease.
Damn. Okay.
That's a tie. There's 4 of us. Peanut Gallery, what do you say? In 10 seconds.
I can see the point that Garrett made about if you have like a scientific explanation for something, then the dramatic tension is heightened because you have this perception as an audience member of I'm watching a fictitious story, and yet we include elements of realism in there so that it's like I can see it shortens the gap between making that leap from your fictitious where you're existing, like your foot next to the protagonist, into the world that we know. Like the gap is just shortened. When you're like, yeah, logically it's a virus, so we in the real world have like, well, viruses are discovered all the time. Strains happen. Like even the volatility of the flu virus is always just up in the air. We think these are going to be the strands, but you never know. Or when you get the flu vaccine. So I just think I got to go with that way.
Perfect.
All right.
So I'm not even going to give you a chance because it's uneven.
I literally could not even give you a better answer.
Virus/disease takes the cake. All right, next up, because obviously now that you know what it is, how long does it take to get them? Is it immediate, or is it you have to die, or is it take a time? Is there like a gestation period?
You have to die, but you switch right away after.
You have to die, but it's like immediately you have a little bit of rigor mortis and then you snap back up. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know. All right, so I know, Garrett, you're not a fan of World War Z, but one of the coolest parts that was, I don't know, just different enough was how quick the virus got to them, and it had like the whole like children's toy giving like the countdown, like 1, 2, 3, and you're watching this guy change into a zombie, and it's like instantaneous.
Very compelling, yeah.
It was an interesting thing.
That was great, and also with like when you have Brad Pitt, like he doesn't know he gets like blood on his face and he doesn't know if it's infected him, so he's standing on the wall waiting for the countdown to see if he's going to jump off the roof or not. That is very compelling.
Much easier to tell the storyline as opposed to like, okay, this person's dead and like we just have to get away from the body as soon as possible. Like it increases the fear a little bit because it's so quick.
Yeah,
I'd say instantaneous.
I agree too. Again, I know that's what Garrett's going from. 28 Days Later. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, we've been working together nonstop. You've been infected. You have to die now.
Are you just writing 28 Days Later over there?
No.
Okay.
No, we're not post-apocalyptic, so we're not
Okay.
there. So we're gonna have.
We're 28 hours later right now.
Sandra Bullock movie? No.
No.
All right, so now, two big thing. Now we got to get into these zombies. Fast or slow? Classic argument.
Neither. You are as fast as you were as a human. So, like, Usain Bolt is going to be, like, the scary zombie. But, like, you know, you and me, we're going to be like, we can outrun those guys.
So you essentially want to go to a zombie outbreak that's in, like, a Florida retirement area.
Exactly. That's my answer.
Well, I guess if we are doing virus disease, then yeah, that makes more sense because undead, you've got decomposing people. They're not going to be fast. They're breaking down left and right. But if it's a virus, then it's just Usain Bolt running after you.
Also, isn't fast kind of what it is though? Like if the person's not fast, usually when you see the running fast zombies, they're thin. You usually don't have your juggalugs like paving down the street.
Yeah, where are all those guys?
They're not there.
No, it's like in Zombieland. They're hanging out in the grocery stores and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
Or if you remember Jumanji, there was always that one rhino. There's that one rhino that's always at the bottom of the stampede.
He's too slow to get the meal.
That's the zombies are out there. There's just the camera's too focused on what's going on here.
True. And yeah, fast zombies are infinitely more scary because slow zombies you get like they get you with their numbers, like they can surround you eventually.
Yeah.
Which is like that's always really terrifying, is knowing that you can outrun them, but eventually they're going to get you. The fast zombies, though, again, I know you don't like it, but World War Z, cool visual element of like a tidal wave of zombies just flying over cars and walls, and it's terrifying.
So Joe, you want are your undead zombies decomposing?
No.
No.
Well,
is it because there's a spell on them?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, I'm just trying to figure this out because I'm thinking of a rotted Usain Bolt corpse just still coming at you at like a 2-second 100-meter sprint, but he's got one leg missing, but he's still somehow doing it.
If any man could.
No, that's totally fair.
All right,
Okay, so we're going with
quick zombies?
fast,
Yeah.
dumb versus smart.
Dumb.
This is the thing you always have to give because if they're going to be fast, they have to be dumb. Otherwise, it's over.
True.
I don't remember what the
Like I Am
comic was
Legend.
called.
Yeah,
There's an indie
Well,
comic.
they're more vampires than they are.
they are
zombies.
vampires.
They are genetically engineered. Which is
You can have a
exactly what we're
genetically
talking
engineered
about.
vampire. Did you not see Daybreakers?
They are vampires, though. Originally, they are vampires.
But no, there's an indie comic where like it's essentially the 28 days later thing, but you keep your sentience and your intelligence, and they eventually like learn like, oh, we can just spread the disease by like dipping our bullets in like body fluids and shooting people with it. And it's just like, what?
Game over, man.
That's
Game
not
over,
fair.
man. Game over.
But at that point, why are you doing that? Why don't you just be like, hey, let's coexist. I'll live forever. You won't.
Because the whole disease in this comic like heightens rage, and I think it's what it's called. It's like the rage
The
virus.
medulla oblongata.
But
Has been enlarged.
I would
You
prefer,
wanted to go down
I
this
want
rabbit
dumb.
hole.
I want dumb.
No, that's fine. So we say dumb to avoid zombies rubbing their bullets in shit and then shooting them at us?
Yeah.
I mean, because now not only do we have Usain Bolt running around, but now imagine really smart Usain Bolt who is trying to infect you purposely with his disease. We're all boned. We are so boned. It's not even funny.
In a house, you have a Home Alone situation.
He's not wrong.
Yes, you would have a Home Alone situation if you were trapped in a home. I didn't expect.
It to go this way.
Is there a movie? What's an example of a movie with smart zombies?
Oh, it's the
Again,
last
keep in mind, it
Romero
doesn't-
one. No, it's the last Romero one with Dennis Hopper, where they're in like the tower. And
That's
they're
what I was talking about earlier. Because the one zombie's been walking around with a gun the whole time, and then he accidentally shoots it, and then he looks at it and is like, "Okay, now the zombie knows how to use a gun. Great." But that's not compelling.
No, I agree.
So definitely dumb.
Yeah. And then also, like, half the fun of zombies is this dumb, like, faceless horde.
Yeah.
Of just, like, it's
Once
a large
again.
amount of enemies out there.
Go back to my theory. You're as smart as you were in life. That way you try and keep the, like, Bill Gates zombie away from the Usain Bolt zombie so they don't
then
join forces.
And this gets to the most classic question just for you, Joe.
Okay.
Do you want a fast, dumb zombie, or do you want a slow but really smart zombie? This is like a 500-pound zombie that is missing a leg. Not missing a leg, sorry. They all have to have 2 legs. Which one do you prefer? One-on-one.
The smart, slow zombie.
Okay. That's fair. No, I think that's...
But then also, if they're smart and fast, then why is this really a zombie movie anymore? What's making it a zombie movie?
It's
It would
not.
be
It's a
it would be
snuff
a
film.
short because you would lose. You would lose immediately. There would be nothing.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you're missing out on all the fun.
We're making
Zombie
murder
movie
porn at this
tropes.
point.
Unless it's like a really sadistic person. It's just like, I'm going to hunt you down.
Well, then I'm just gonna watch a horror movie. I'm not gonna watch a zombie movie.
Yeah, you're right. No, he's got a point there.
All right, so we're going to go dumb.
They have to be dumb.
Location. Are we enclosed or are we traveling?
In terms of telling a story, I think enclosed is better because it creates that paranoia. I mean, you go back to like the original like Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
It's
There's nowhere to
terrifying 'cause
go.
It's like, yeah, you're trapped.
Or even Dawn of the Dead, it's the same thing. You're in a mall. Like, yeah, the space can be big. We're in Aspen at a resort.
Too many doors, bro. I don't like, nah.
This makes for a compelling movie,
There's
though.
all kinds of doors.
This ain't for our survival.
I mean, the danger has to get in it.
The most compelling thing with me would be survival. Dude, seriously, though, there's so many doors. That's why I don't like the Dawn of the... Actually, that's always so good is Dawn of the Dead. Like, the idea of being in a mall. That's so... Like, the idea is so silly, but also it makes you feel like you got a shot, you know? Even though you definitely don't.
There might be a sports authority where you can get a crossbow or something.
Not anymore.
Yeah, and there's going to be probably a bunch of food or
there are.
things like that.
Sorry, yeah.
Sports authorities are gone.
No, there's
Yes.
one in Cape.
Not anymore. Check next time you go. Either that or they're being illegal.
Dun, 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 dun.
Anyway.
All right, so do we want to do an Aspen? That's because my last one was going to be just for fun. Pick a state.
In Aspen.
Well, that'd be Colorado.
Somebody's going to freeze to death. The elements.
I mean, I'm writing a compelling horror movie. I'm not talking about my own survival.
I mean, if it's closed in, then where it's set is... Or you're talking... Like state-wise, it's not really as important. If it's set in Colorado, then congratulations, we all have weed during the zombie apocalypse.
Also the elements.
D.C. were locked in the White House with the candidates.
Oh, we throw them out first
Exactly.
as a distraction.
No
and we
question.
sneak out the back door.
No question.
Which one were we in Aspen or are we in Washington D.C.?
I think
the White House.
The White House is something.
Is
like
that compelling?
You haven't seen. Think
ever
about
see a zombie White
any
House
zombie
movie?
with the White House. Never been done.
Do you think we can get a
Think
play
White
off of
House
White House
down.
down?
I was
That's
gonna
like
say-
White House 6 feet under.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
which one was that?
That was the Jamie Foxx, Channing Tatum one.
That's the better one.
What? I think you... Did you combine them?
Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah, okay.
is the
White
one.
House Down
White
is...
House Down is the one with Tatum. That's the better
yes.
one.
Debatable.
Nope.
Debate
All right,
for
so
another
we're going enclosed
time. Yes, at the
right.
White House.
at the White House.
It's interesting.
Damn.
All right.
You may have a zombie Lincoln. You
Are
don't
there
know.
any other X factors that we need to account for that anyone knows about? My character, because I'm implanting myself, I would be the classic character of I used to be an athlete in high school, but I bummed my knee out, so I'm still an athlete, but like not a big shot, you know?
I mean, if we're doing that, then I want to be the crazy scientist who comes busting in the door with like, I've got a cure and everything else, and like throwing papers around. My glasses are half off.
Okay, that's
Like-
fine. You can be the smart guy.
Okay.
Al?
Can I be the person that the audience like discovers the story through? Like I'm the eyes of the audience,
Do you
basically.
want to be
like,
the lead? What a
the
dick.
lead? It doesn't have to be the lead. There
Yeah,
could be
it's
another
the
lead.
lead.
There could be another lead.
What movie is the lead not where you see through?
The one
Okay,
where
that's
I'm the
fine.
lead.
But there could be another lead. There could be two leads. There could be two leads.
Waiting.
Me and Al will be the lead.
There's no lead in waiting. It's an ensemble.
Meh. Tell that to Ryan Reynolds.
Garrett, what's your character?
I was gonna be the other lead.
These aren't characters.
So you're the gay couple then, because there's always
No,
a
no,
couple.
we could be
There's
the-
always a couple.
We can be the Rick and the Shane. One of us goes crazy halfway through.
Ooh.
Okay, that's fine.
Now
be
they're gonna
Shane.
fight.
I wanna
Who's
be
gonna be
Shane.
crazy?
Nope, you can just say, all right, that's that. So essentially,
You already kind of look like Rick. So
we are in the middle of
white
an
guy?
outbreak that is a virus. Takes over instantly. There are fast but dumb zombies, so no hyper-intelligent Usain Bolt zombies.
Thank God.
And we are at the White House
Yes.
on lockdown.
Excellent.
I actually would watch that movie.
Oh yeah.
White House 6 feet down, coming soon.
What's that, Lassie? Timmy stuck in a well listening to Three Wise Radio?
Well, since we were originally going to see Inferno this week, we had this segment already scheduled, so we thought we'd go through with it anyway. Who is the most likable actor to replace Tom Hanks in a movie? Because I think we can all agree that Tom Hanks is possibly the most likable actor in Hollywood.
Tom Hanks is without a doubt the most likable actor in Hollywood. Without a doubt.
So, to help us answer this question, we thought we'd bring in our senior likable correspondent, Mike Reynolds, because he's the most likable correspondent that we've known of on this
That's
show.
probably true.
I have news for you, sir. The show has actually has changed its name since the last time you were on the show.
Did it?
we were Three Wise Media.
That's
still.
We were Three Wise Guys.
Oh, Three Wise.
And the last episode he did was the cereal taste testing way back in 13.
Question, just for the record. What are we now?
Three Wise Radio.
Three Wise Radio.
Okay.
I say it at the beginning every time. It's part of the spiel now.
In my not defense, but I'm pretty sure I texted that when you asked about the segment. I was like, is this for Three Wise Media? I'm in the know.
Yep. Better than most of us. Sorry, one of us.
All right, so let's get the discussion started. How do you want to go about this? Do you want to go about this replacing him in movies, replacing him in just like life? Yeah, just
I don't know, man.
How do you attack something where you're trying to say who's going to be, and they have to have longevity too. Like, I think if you're just going to say like a likable actor, like someone like Chris Pratt would come to mind, where it's like, oh, he's a likable guy, he's in things. But I don't know if he's going to have like the longevity of Tom Hanks and do things from like comedy, like Bachelor Party and Splash, and then he's going to be like, yeah, I could totally see him doing the moon stuff too.
And see, this is where I sitting down for a while trying to figure this out, and this is an issue that I have with it, is Tom Hanks is so unique in that Chris Pratt is also a nice guy. Maybe I'm out of bounds on this, but Tom Hanks is so likable and so popular in Hollywood, and he's also not, and I don't think he ever has been, a like celebrity like bombshell guy. Like, he's not the gorgeous Tom Hanks. Like, he's a fine looking dude, but he's not like Brad Pitt. He's not George Clooney. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the people that I'm thinking of, too hot to be Tom Hanks.
Because you're ascribing this quality of like a celebrity that's super hot is essentially someone's going to burn out. Whereas like Tom Hanks,
burn out, yeah, but also in George Clooney,
it's a long burn.
When people, it's because like another person that people argue is a really nice guy in Hollywood, George Clooney. But when people say George Clooney off the bat, it's like, he's just so damn handsome. The first thing you think when you think Tom Hanks, he's probably the nicest guy you've ever met. Like, that's the key attribute. Whereas, like, with a Brad Pitt, key attribute usually goes to, damn, he's good looking. Not lately, but...
I would agree between the two of them, because George Clooney doesn't have like in Chicago, they have a Tom Hanks Day here, because people just genuinely like the guy. They do. Wow. I had my former roommate, she attends every year, and every year they have a different theme. Like, one year was Turner and Hooch, was that year's Tom Hanks Days theme.
Was there ever a Saving Private Ryan?
I don't know yet.
It's a bleak
I
day.
hope so. Because it's good to remember.
The movie or
everything?
Our history.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm kind of caught, because I'm trying to think of somebody that's nice enough to be in the ranks, but also not attractive enough to detract from the niceness.
I also went on the same path, and I also attacked it to address an issue you brought up. I attacked it primarily from the movies, because without film, I don't know.
Right.
Do we know Tom Hanks? So,
nope.
Yeah, he's the dude in the Carly Rae
Jepsen
Jepsen
from an idea
video.
of like somebody that's currently in movies, with the idea of the longevity, because regardless of it's going to run concurrent. I imagine two parallel lines of the choices that somebody makes acting wise in the movies that you choose to be in versus your likability just as a nice guy. And that's the kind of approach I had.
Yeah, because one name that comes to mind when you think nicest people, like one of the nicest people that she's just so grounded, Jennifer Lawrence. But I don't think she's got the longevity, because I feel like people are also already starting to turn on her a little bit because it feels disingenuous.
And Tom Hanks has never really been the negative side.
Tom Hanks is because it doesn't feel disingenuous.
When you think about Tom Hanks compared to, in this case, Jennifer Lawrence, when it comes to the acting, like the roles they choose, I always would. At least I was thinking about, could you see somebody like Tom Hanks, like, yeah, he could foreseeably play like a very dignified role like the president in one movie. Sure, he could also play
a child,
like in
Big.
Big. Like, the choice, I could see that sort of acting range where we would just respect. Like, if somebody chose to do, like, if you did another Big, we'd be like, oh yeah, he's making a choice to do this, or he wants to do that. But it's not going to be a weird juxtaposition to see the next movie be a very super serious, like, I don't know, could he do Philip Seymour Hoffman's role in like Doubt or something? That just seems like a very nuanced, very complex role when you juxtapose that next to Big in this case.
Are you saying that his roles aren't that complicated, or like they're not that difficult?
I'm saying the longevity for me came from the idea that I could very realistically see him do both.
Okay, is that you think he has the range?
Yes.
To do that.
And I think that's important likability wise, but then also, he's an actor. We want to make sure that he's going to be turning out what he like
quality work,
but like there's a choice involved. Like, we know that when he does some of these other movies, it's because he chooses to do that, because he also can back it up immediately following with a very dignified role.
Has he ever been the bad guy?
I need to look up some Tom Hanks stuff,
because that's always a very compelling thing, is when they have like a very well known, like respected actor that ends up being a bad guy. I know, well, not lately because he's always been such a badass, but I think there was a time where Samuel L. Jackson was in Unbreakable. He was the bad guy. That's a little.
He was. Oh, he was very. As I remember, if I remember correctly, I thought they set him up as to be a very sympathetic bad guy. Maybe it's been a while since I've seen Unbreakable though. Yeah, a very real world. It's less about world domination. It's more about I can see how this came to be.
I just like the idea of an actor that everybody like. If in a movie right now with Chris Pratt, he ended up being the bad guy because he's such a hero all the time. I like the idea of somebody playing a villain.
I also like the idea of seeing to that point the kid that played Joffrey in Game of Thrones. What's it?
Jack Gleason.
Yeah, Jack Gleason. He was. I remember, and I'm not the most plugged in, but I remember him saying something to the effect of like, "Everyone sees me as Joffrey now,"
Yeah,
which is
he's
interesting.
He quit acting.
Yeah. What do you do after that?
Okay.
When everyone sees you as Joffrey.
How do you define bad guy? Because I've got I've got anti-hero for sure. Anti-hero with Road to Perdition.
No, because he's still like he's with his kid. But
He's a good guy though.
he's a good guy that does bad things.
That's what I would call an anti-hero.
Yeah, he's
still
an
a good
anti-hero,
guy.
That's
but
what
he's
I
still,
said.
but you still like you're rooting for him.
Okay.
So I would say no.
You're talking primarily the antagonist opposite the protagonist is what you would.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you group bad guy?
I want him to be the villain.
The actual villain?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then technically, no.
Like if they announced that Tom Hanks was going to be the next Bond villain,
I'd see that movie.
I would.
I
Again,
would
I
see
would.
that
I would
movie.
also see that movie. But like something
But
like
it's-
that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Does he have the range to be a Bond villain
Or a villain.
or a villain? Yeah.
If he did, I think it would be the creepiest thing. Because it's like a similar thing with like when you see children being portrayed as vampires or zombies. There's something that's so upsetting about it because of the innocence of a child. There's something so upsetting about seeing the likability of Tom Hanks put in a villainous role. Like I'm supposed to hate you, but
I love you so much.
you're big. You're big, or whatever his name was in Big. I don't know what his name was.
Mike?
Was it Mike?
Mikey?
I don't know.
Great name.
You're Tom Hanks. You're not supposed to be a bad guy. You just shot that person, Tom.
I'm trying to think if there was somebody like. It's not analogous, but that would be a leap from the relative obscurity that Johnny Depp was in, and then Pirates came around. Like, and that was such a leap from like at least in my own experience, having seen him in whatever movies up to that point, and then he was kind of silent for a while, and then came back with
Three, yeah.
Pirates. That was like a character far removed, like the fringe of what I guess we had seen up to that point. Maybe. I guess you could put Edward Scissorhands out there as well.
Yeah. But I feel like everything after Pirates was just him doing.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not talking
Yeah.
about after. I'm talking about that period from where he
first one.
was, and then Pirates came out.
Yeah.
I guess push come to shove is what we're hitting at here. Is Tom Hanks, aside from having like a Mel Gibson moment, will always be the most likable guy until he's done.
It's true. In the interest of
Well, okay, in his defense, he was once
idea.
asked why he's never played a bad guy, and here was his quote. Look, playing bad, I am not interested ever. I don't want to see bad guys who are just bad, Why are they bad? So I guess maybe to him, he's never come across a bad guy role that's had enough...
Compelling enough.
Yeah, that's had enough depth to really want to be a bad guy.
he would also. I'd be curious to see him in the Broadway show Urinetown. Like, there's a character
spelled?
named Caldwell B. Cladwell. Urinetown.
Well, Cloud Atlas...
No.
He does play that gangster guy who
haven't seen
it's
that.
actually very almost off-putting because he's throwing around the F-bomb a lot and he throws a dude out a window and
It is off-putting.
I'm going to say
How long does it last though?
20 minutes maybe.
So I'm pretty sure that like 8 people have seen that movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So sort of. I'm gonna give it a sort of for Cloud Atlas.
Okay.
And I would say I would list. Just to finish my thought on Urinetown because it's
How is that spelled? Because you keep saying it
Urinetown.
Okay, so you're in town. Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay,
Urinetown.
good. Had to know.
It's a town. It's the premise of the Broadway show is that there's an extreme water shortage. So there's a song about like you have to pay for the privilege to pee essentially. But Caldwell B. Cladwell is my I would like the quintessential antagonist, not villain, but antagonist because he's like imposing the tax on like he's the reason you have to pay, and like various, I think different parts of town have you pay different prices based on the quality of the facility. But
Wait, why aren't people peeing in the not
because
in the
it's
not potties?
not illegal, or it is illegal. Excuse me, it's illegal.
It's illegal now, but people still do it. So like a Gestapo that's like following around and.
Point is, there's an
No,
economic-
we are way off track at this point.
Yeah.
What's stopping
Point
me
is-
from peeing outside?
Besides
big
Caldwell
old-
Be Gladwell has cops that will come and just take you to Urinetown, and it's up to you to see the show and figure out what that means.
Is that in right now? Is it happening right now?
You can read it. There's productions around town, I think. Not town, excuse me, around the nation. It's produced. It's not like Phantom or anything.
Okay.
Anyway,
By the way, on the Has Tom Hanks Ever Played a Bad Guy Reddit thread, the top 2 comments are, had played the Russian gangster in Cloud Atlas, if you count that. Secondly, Woody was kind of a dick in the first half of Toy Story.
True. We didn't get to see that face though.
okay. True. I have ideas. I'm gonna throw
Yeah, okay,
I'm gonna
so
throw a
let's
name
talk about
out
some
there.
people that might
so
be
there's
able to-
potential. I'm gonna throw this name out there. Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah.
Depending on I mean, like somebody he could make. He's done was that? Frankenstein.
I Frankenstein.
I Frankenstein. He's
Great
done
movie.
something like that. I didn't see it.
It's not good.
Okay. But also did like Thank You for Smoking. He's done
Yeah.
very like. I could foresee him being, and I think people generally like him.
I think he's just not big enough yet. How old is he?
Late 40s.
Late 40s.
He's getting there.
How
How old's Tom Hanks?
60s.
Okay.
I categorize my list into people I think realistically could be.
I don't dislike that, though. He is
Okay.
60 exactly, by the way.
Aaron Eckhart is 48.
All right.
It's you know what? It's plausible.
Plausible.
It's plausible.
I kind of attacked this with I had ideas that I would love to get people to weigh in on. 'Cause
Yeah,
the next one I
absolutely.
had, like one of the most likable people. I think my experience is very limited with this particular actor, but I think Mike Coulter could be. He's got an actor that's had a lot of heart, I think, and admittedly very few things I've seen him in.
Yeah. He plays Luke Cage.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I could see that. I could see him being
Yeah.
extremely likable.
He's 40 already. I think what's going to happen with that. I haven't watched.
I think you
interviews or
have to be at
anything.
least in your late 30s or into your 40s to do
Sure.
this. Because
I think-
Hanks doesn't become a name till he's in his 40s. He is known, but
Yeah, I guess that's
he
true.
is
He's
no
60
different than
something.
just a different. He is 60 exactly. We said that earlier.
Right.
But he's not really like into prominence until like Philadelphia and the other one he went,
Yeah.
Forrest Gump, and like when he starts to win back-to-back Oscars and everything else.
Okay. So then I think what's going to weigh in on him is we have to see what he does next because he'll definitely
Yeah.
be casting something.
And because I'm thinking the roles that he's going to choose, like where the person or the actor or actress is at now, and I'm thinking like if they choose, I mean I have no idea what is going to be coming next for this particular actor or the choices that could happen, but I'm assuming they're going to make choices in such a way that I could see them playing, like doing an I Frankenstein, but also doing a Thank You for Smoking.
I think is it because they're filming so much? But now that I'm thinking about that, with like the next thing for Luke Coulter,
Coulter. Luke Cage.
Mike Coulter. None of the people that have been in the Netflix Marvel series have really done something big afterwards, like a big movie.
Are they in a position to do so?
See, that's the thing I don't know.
Like, there could be a scheduling like with,
Depends on who you say it.
but
Vincent
usually,
D'Onofrio.
most TV shows you can get a movie in.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, but I think he was already doing a decent amount of stuff outside of it too. Whereas, like, I just feel like one of them, like Charlie Cox, would have gotten a movie, or
He's always
Kristen
been.
Ritter.
Those two, though, have always been primarily television people.
Right, but I think that if they were ever to jump, I think it would have been from
After
this.
that, yeah.
It's also only been a year or two. I mean,
Yes, that's fair.
you got to give it some time. Wait till maybe the quote-unquote show goes off the air.
Okay.
What about this name? I don't know if you're going to say he has the range.
Jason
but he's,
Statham?
No, he's getting better. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
he's on my list of wild cards.
Wild cards.
I've got people I think potentially could be. I've got people who I personally want to see. And then I got wild cards, and The Rock is on the top of that list.
Yeah.
I
talking
didn't,
about
I didn't even think about him, but yeah.
You talking about a genuinely like nice guy who like goes out of his way for a lot of things. He's very likable. And he has started to venture into like more serious stuff whenever he can, but also just I'm going to do Jumanji. I'm going to do Road Rampage or whatever the heck that movie
I think
is.
you're going to either need to see another movie that he does that's like a kid movie that goes really well, or a movie where he's not an action star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you need to see that to broaden his audience out a little bit more. But yeah, I think that's definitely probably top running from what we've said so far.
Which I think is possible, especially when we entertain these ideas, because the question itself has an inherent, not hope, but there's a potential energy to it. And I could see absolutely that. He could choose a bunch of weird roles, and maybe that's what happens. Or he chooses a lot of great roles, because potentially that could happen. I could absolutely see The Rock filling that role. He could also. Has he played a villain recently?
Yes.
He was the villain in Doom.
Fast.
And he even commented like, "This isn't
He's
supposed to
going
be
to be Black Adam.
Oh, really?
They're gonna play him so he's not a villain.
But he's pretty much a villain. He started to hit a little bit more dramatic stuff with Ballers in season 2 and a downward spiral mentally. What else? There was something else he tried. Oh, Pain and Gain. He plays like a childlike. Like he is like a big giant bodybuilder, but he's doing these very violent acts because he has basically the mental capacity of a child. And it's actually he's very good in it. Like
that
he's
movie
one of the
is something, man.
But he is one of the best parts of that movie, and it might be the best performance I've ever seen from him.
Damn. I see that.
Yeah, it's pretty compelling, and he is juiced in that, man. He's
Yes.
huge, like grossly huge.
All right.
So that he was The Rock was on the top. I also had Jeremy Renner on my wild cards. I don't know.
He's got a foul mouth.
Foul mouth. I've also heard that as well.
But I would say that that does fit greatly into your wild card scenario because I can't see him as a likable person.
Right.
Sure, but I think he's a guy. I think he's a guy that like a lot of guys would want to hang out with, but like moms aren't gonna fall in love
I
with
would
Jeremy
agree with that,
Renner. Moms love Tom Hanks.
Yes,
they grew up with Tom Hanks.
Speaking of that, I want to throw this name out there. I want to get your guys' opinion on it. We don't have to spend a lot of time.
Were you gonna say speaking on moms?
Nope.
Damn it.
Ryan Gosling.
Yep. You just heard the moan. Too sexy.
Too sexy?
Too sexy.
Here's what I'm imagining though. Like, and maybe not like tomorrow or the next year, but like
less sexy.
I could see that. I could see him being
letting himself go.
Not letting himself go, but like that sort of like, for lack of a better like classification, like that sort of teenage heartthrob quality about him. I think we'll just become like he'll become kind of like how George Clooney has kind of become what people refer to as like a handsome older guy.
Yeah.
I could see that becoming. Because like he's not going to be able to play the same roles he's playing now. That's just something that happens when you like get older. Just like I can no longer play the 18-year-olds that I was known for. That was a weird joke.
That
catches up to
catches us all. Yeah, whatever.
I guess I just can't play 18 anymore with this beard I'm wearing. That's what I'm told.
It is thick.
But point is, as he gets older, I think like his choice of roles will. I think he's in a position where he'll be able to choose those roles.
Will mature as well as he does.
Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't seen Drive, but beside that, which I'm assuming he's great in, I haven't seen anything from him that makes me scream. If you weren't handsome, you'd still be doing this.
Okay.
Is he that good in
what
Drive?
About
or is he that handsome and awesome?
What's the one that's like not? It's not Her.
Yeah.
He was in one. Is he in Her? Am I thinking of
who? Gosling?
Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix.
Gosling.
That's Joaquin Phoenix. I thought he was in a movie like that though.
Oh fuck! It's on to my
Lars and the Real Girl.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I never watched that.
Never heard of it.
He's got like a lady. It's like a
sex
Gosling
it's
has
a
a
sex.
lady?
It's a sex doll. Yeah.
This movie's already not believable.
So that was the Gosling. Seems
sex
like we have
dolls exist. Joe.
we have mixed reviews. Mixed reviews on the Gaz. I also suggest Tom Hiddleston.
Ooh.
You know what? 6 months ago, I would have said yeah, but he's been tainted.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift's got.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's enough for me.
All right.
But you're right. That was someone who you're right. Like the right level of attractiveness according to our scale.
Still relatively on the outside.
Yeah.
They're not.
But for me, like you still see like National Enquirer will try to put stories out for Tom Hanks, and you're just like, no.
Yeah.
I'll right away no. But if I saw something from National Enquirer that was like, Tom Hiddleston leaves a bag of poop on fire at Taylor Swift's door, I'd be like, maybe.
I mean, who in America doesn't want to do that?
I think that's a strong, and maybe I'm far off, but I think that's a strong enough taint.
You're right.
All right.
There's a lot of drama that comes into that.
There's a lot of drama, just like there's going to be with this next idea. Now, this is off the list of who I want to see.
Okay. Wait, have these all been wild cards?
These have all no. These are like people. I could foreseeably. I think a case could be made like around a table like this about like Gosling or Mike Coulter or Aaron Eckhart. This is somebody I'm going to put out to you right now. He goes by the name of Peter Gallagher. Follow me. No. I defy you to watch any of season 1 of the OC. His scenes with Kelly Rowan, he crushes it in every scene. So we know the talent's there. And he is an absolute handsome dude.
Peter Gallagher is a year older than Tom Hanks.
I don't care.
He, unlike Tom Hanks, was in all 4 seasons of Covert Affairs.
Unlike Tom Hanks. Point is, I'm telling you, you go back, you look at 2003, you see what the quality that is on tape for that show. He brings it in every scene. I'm going to put that relationship on par with like Coach Eric and Tammy Taylor. I'm telling you.
How far back do we have to look in his catalog, in your mind, to see something that
You
makes us
only
think,
need to look at the OC.
Season 1.
Oh, I mean, you could look at season 8. I'm sure.
But you said season 1.
That's just one example. I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, spend your time watching all 4 seasons.
So we have to look back.
Which I haven't seen season 4.
We have to look back 9 years at the earliest.
He's done other stuff. I'm just saying.
Right, but something that's compelling enough to make you think like
submitted
this guy.
for the approval of this particular Midnight Society. I'm telling you, like Exhibit A is a couple episodes from season 1.
I will not be throwing whatever dust they throw into the fire to make it go poof for the Midnight Society.
Well, it's that chemical that just makes it burn green for a second.
I don't know what it's called.
I don't know what it is either.
But I say
All right,
no.
what's the next one?
Who else did I want?
I wasn't expecting.
I don't know his age. I wanted to see Idris Elba be like somebody who could. He's on my list of I would want to see that. Right behind Peter Gallagher.
I feel like Idris is
44. He's in the right age
he
bracket.
might be too
He's the
sexy.
right level. No. I think he's the right level of sexy because he's too gruff to be that like.
That's the thing also
pristine
because he's
sexy.
gruff. Because is he too gruff to be super lovable?
Hey. Let's not have that Bond debate.
Yeah,
Is he too
you can be gruff and lovable. Case in point, Ryan Atwood from the OC.
Is anyone not from the cast of the OC that's lovable?
Let's see. No, the whole cast is on the list. No, but I do think I see your point though. I
think he's too badass.
That's
he
true.
kicks too much ass.
That is true.
Damn.
For somebody in contention for like James Bond, like
Here's the way that I would put it: you give Tom Hanks a hug, it's gonna be real soft, real nice. You give Idris Elba a hug, you're gonna get a bruise. He's too strong.
Okay, I accept that. I think I also had one of the other ones on my list was Andrew Garfield in like down the line. Like we're talking, this is like if we have a guy, we're trying to choose a guy to replace first string, so our second string, he'd be like third or fourth.
Has Andrew Garfield really done anything big since like Social Network?
Well, this is the thing. I think I just
Spider-Man.
feel like with the question has such inherent potential energy to it that like I could see if he's got a whole career ahead of him.
Yeah.
I could see it like. You never know.
Okay.
Like the Leicester City,
That's why he's
from the
sitting
EPL.
fourth
Like if
string
you're going
on
to bet
this.
on somebody for what the odds are 1 in 500, whatever the odds were for Leicester, like you never know.
He did just break up with Emma Stone.
Finally,
Apparently.
I thought that was like a year ago.
This gives him points, though. Do you know why? According to the first link of amp.com?
Why?
What the hell is that?
Because, I don't know, some website. I don't know if this is true. Because he wanted to start a family and she didn't. That gives him likability.
That
He's ready
does
to
give him
settle down.
likability.
Well,
He was in he's in Hacksaw Ridge, that movie that's coming out.
Yes.
I do want to see
That
that.
could do if that does really well, that could push
Who's
him.
that directed by? There's a name.
Woody Allen. Mel Gibson.
We'll see.
I'll throw a name in.
So wait, is he yes or no?
It sounds like he's a
fourth stringer.
I'm suggesting him as like a. We'll choose an actual answer, but keep him on the horizon.
He's a sleeper.
Keep him on the horizon.
Runner up.
Runner up.
I was gonna say Hugh Jackman.
Oh.
Oh, the likability is absolutely there.
Yeah, it's all
people who
the
know him from
likability.
Les Mis and Wolverine. Absolutely.
Everyone that knows him always says how lovable he is.
Yeah. Apparently he's a super nice guy. And he did a Broadway show with Daniel Craig. Off Broadway, excuse me. I would have been amazing, I bet. That would have been great.
But does he fall under your
Too handsome.
He is definitely the first person I will say that transcends his most notable
Yes.
character.
That's
He's the
the
first
thing.
person who's never been stereotyped in a character that should absolutely have stereotyped him.
He's too good. He's too good.
No. I don't buy.
That's
Tom
not
Hanks
a
is good
requirement.
at what he does.
No, not too good. I'm just saying, like, if you
Oh,
were to go
not
to somebody
villainy.
else right now, it would be Hugh Jackman. It would absolutely be Hugh Jackman because he seems so nice and so lovable. He's super handsome and super jacked. But my thing is that he's in the running for it as Tom Hanks is in the running for it. Like, Tom Hanks is doing it right now. We're have to think, how's that going, Al? It's good. Good. Tom Hanks is still doing it right now. We're looking for who's going to take his place. I don't know if Hugh Jackman is still going to. How old is Hugh Jackman?
He's in his late 40s.
I feel like
I
Hugh
could see
Jackman
it.
could easily.
Think so? Okay.
I guess the question
Especially-
to pose to you then: at what point did Tom Hanks get the status that we're trying to replace him for? At
48.
what age?
He's 48.
He's 48.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially because since he's going to be done doing Wolverine after this, he's got pretty much an open agenda to do whatever he wants, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's probably it.
And again, like, I only want to bring back that Broadway show because I feel like I remember it being reviewed positively. I obviously didn't see it, but point is, he's got the blockbuster status, but he's also kept his chops. Like,
Oh, and he did great at the when he did the Oscars.
Oh, he was one of the
that
best
was great.
hosts.
He didn't do the Tonys recently-ish, last 10 years.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it was like 2 years after he did
And he
the
still
Oscars.
does pretty much whatever he wants. I mean,
Moms love him.
moms do love him. He does. He does whatever he wants. Like he's gonna sit there and turn out something a little bit more dramatic, like The Greatest Show on Earth, where he's gonna play P.T. Barnum, or Prisoners, when it was a little bit more dramatic. Or he's gonna do the X-Men stuff still, but he's also gonna turn around and do Movie 43 and be in that, or he's going to be in Pan, or he basically is gonna do whatever he wants.
He does what he wants. And he's a family man.
and a reminder, he can sing.
Yeah.
And dance. He's a song and dance
He's
man.
a song and dance man. They don't just put anybody into, even if you're creatively adjusting some of the music, but you just don't throw anybody into Valjean.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Jean Valjean.
Jean Valjean.
Yeah, that's probably That's probably he's got my vote currently.
Yeah. Yes. I would say, yeah.
Cool.
And he's got the Australian accent, which is a little less aloof than a British accent is.
So, and if I'm keeping track, so we definitely think he's in the front running, so we're putting him right up there next to Peter Gallagher, am I right?
I'm going
I
Hugh
know what you're
Jackman,
going to say it. You're not going to
Peter
want to say
Gallagher,
it. Okay.
and then Dwayne The Rock Johnson. But only Peter Gallagher, sliced from 2000's episode 4 of season 1 of The OC.
As usual, we end every episode with What's Piquing Our Interest, where we just say what's piquing our interest. It hasn't changed in 50 episodes. It won't change in the next 50. Garrett, what's piquing your interest?
What's piquing my interest? This past week, I went to LA. It was a blast. I went to Universal. I was talking to Joe about this the other day while we were at work, but I went to Disney World on Tuesday and went to Universal on Thursday to go to Harry Potter World. And I think this is my first time going to Disney, and I'm just too old to appreciate the magic.
For sure.
Because, like, I got there, and I was like, yeah. But then I got to Harry Potter World, I was like, oh my god! I was just, like, freaking out all over the place. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I was molded by Harry Potter more than I was Disney. Like, Disney was a big part of my childhood, but it didn't really, like, help me grow.
Most of those movies still came out as you were old enough.
Also
that
true.
You can still relate to yourself at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I was thinking if I ever go back to Disney World, my boss had us read a book about the way that Disneyland operates, like how it's just like a well-oiled machine, and they don't point with one finger because it's too aggressive. You point with two. So if I were ever to go to Disneyland, I would just be like watching the workers and how they operate and like the efficiency of the system. So like all the magic would be gone. There'd be none of it.
But in a way, isn't that sort of productivity?
Yeah, it'd be the magic of a well-oiled machine, capitalism.
Yep. I was wondering if the C word would show up.
What about you, Sam?
Piquing my interest, I have it right here. So Rockstar tweeted out just their logo, but it was red. So hopefully we're going to get a addition to the Red Dead series.
Ooh.
What else could it be, right?
It's what's got to be, but they haven't.
Of course.
They didn't actually say it, and we need more details.
But you're talking about it now, and that was their goal.
Yeah. Red Dead Redemption, Red Dead Revolver.
Red Dead Revenge.
Incredible. Yeah. Incredible games. And with the engines that they have now to make an open world,
They can do it.
Cowboy game would be so good. You guys play that one?
Yeah.
Play
only a little bit. Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption, such a good game. This guy's just got such a great story. I mean, why I love it, I think you'd enjoy this. But so you spend the whole game as Marsden. You have a son. You're protecting your family.
James Marsden.
Yeah.
Yeah. The very end, you die, and the prologue is your son, and you're his son, and the last 10% of the game is you riding back and avenging your father's death. It's really good. It's real good.
Spoilers.
Damn.
I mean, it's a
10-year-old
80,000-year-old game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No spoiler.
Yeah. It's just very, as far as hitting you in the feels, movies or games don't often do it to that level, and this one does it. It's really good.
Plus some really good DLC. There's a whole zombie DLC.
There is, yeah.
And it's great.
I heard of it. Yeah.
You can capture the four horses of the apocalypse.
Great series.
Sure.
I mean, Rockstar knows what they're doing.
Last game, unrelated side note. Last game that made me feel all it feels like, to that extent, what sounds like was Metal Gear Solid 3.
Really?
Snake Eater?
Snake Eater.
Oh, that game is good.
Snake Eater, dude.
It's heavy.
Mike, what's piquing your interest this week?
I just picked up, I forget his first name, Mr. Meacham, I'm going to call him because I don't know if he's a doctor or not, but he wrote American Lion. It's the biography of Andrew Jackson. And in all my knowledge about Andrew Jackson, he's coming in at a deficit as far as my liking this person from history. So I'm just curious to see how they're going to paint Andrew Jackson in a positive light, and what positives I'll be able to take away and contrast with all the negatives I already know. So
You trying to make us sound dumb?
no. No.
What is it? What is the book specifically? Is it a biography,
it's a biography.
Or is it okay?
Yeah, it's a biography. I think they're going to spend a bulk of the time on his years in the White House. But oddly enough, I mean, it's kind of interesting to think about now with a hotly contested election of if there's a tie, it goes to the House, just like it did in 1824, and the House Henry Clay decided to give the election to John Quincy Adams. So it's just the idea of what could happen right now in the current political climate that we're in.
Nice.
Because if it goes to the House, but that's what's kind of piquing my interest right now. Andrew Jackson.
Nice. Hopefully it's a good read.
We'll see.
Joe, what's piquing your interest?
What's piquing my interest is we all know my love of Nick Cage.
Yeah.
He has a new movie coming out.
Sure he does.
Is it going to be great?
Is it Ghost Rider?
No, it's not Ghost
Damn
Rider. It is direct to video though, as they mostly are.
Of course it is.
But it's
Supplemental
it
income.
comes out in a couple weeks. It's called Army of One.
Awesome.
In which
boy.
he plays an ex-con, an unemployed handyman, who is sent on a mission to capture Osama bin Laden by God.
What?
Now this is based on a true story, and it's directed by the guy who did Borat, and God is played by Russell Brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Also starring Rainn Wilson, Paul Scheer, Dennis O'Hare, Wendy McLendon Covey, which if you don't know her, she's the
Reno
lady from
911.
Reno 911, and Ken Marino.
I saw the trailer the
Hold
other
on,
night.
that movie sounds like it might be great.
I saw the trailer the other night. It's going to be a hidden gem. It looks hilarious.
Who's writing it? Is this like the Ken Marino, that team of people, the Party Down people? Did they make this movie?
It's directed by the guy who did Borat and The Dictator. So it's directed by a guy who does a lot of Sacha Baron Cohen things.
But who wrote it?
I don't know who wrote it. Written by Robbie Joseph. I'm not sure about his work.
I wonder if it's by the people that did Burning
But
Love.
he's a Pulitzer Prize finalist from 2010. So
Yeah, not a winner though.
not a winner.
Who gives a shit?
Man, that's not at all what's piquing my interest this week. I've got a second one, guys.
Let's hear it.
Plot twist. Bob Dylan won the Nobel Prize in Literature
Yeah.
this year.
Why?
What did he? I saw that he won. I didn't know what for though.
Oh, I mean, it's for his lyrics and stuff.
Oh.
I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are thinking that this is a very controversial thing. It's not actual literature, but it is. It's words. It's
It's essentially poetry.
It's
in one
essentially
form or another,
poetry. Yeah.
They're just shelling those things out now, aren't they?
Yep.
Yes, but I mean, if you think about it,
Yes, but
I mean, they're going to give them to somebody.
yeah, they're gonna give it to somebody. But also, I feel like Bob Dylan was very a revolutionary kind of character in his time. He inspired a lot of people.
Are they all peace prizes? Nobel Peace Prizes?
No,
No.
the Nobel Prize for literature, for science, or chemistry, or
there's
one of them is the Nobel
Peace Prize.
Yeah.
So it's just a Nobel Prize for literature based on whatever that they think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just thought that was really cool.
That is super.
So it was a very an interesting choice. I like the choice.
I would
but
also be looking in the future to see maybe. I know we've done Dylan already in movies and stuff, and he's already been played by multiple actors in one movie.
Yeah.
But look at a lot of his early photos. Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
Is going to play Bob Dylan in the next 5 years.
Not a big fan of Bob Dylan.
You can count on it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I just don't know I don't get it.
In some form or fashion.
I respect Bob Dylan. I admit that it's not his music may not be something I'm always like, I need to hear that right now, but I respect him.
And we hope you respect us. And if you want to tell us how you respect us, there's many different ways you can do so.
They don't.
You can You can email us at threewiseradio@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at threewiseradio / #3wiseradio. Find us on Instagram at threewiseradio, and find us on Facebook at Three Wise Media. Our sister podcast is Movie Versus, and they come out with new episodes every Thursday, so make sure you check them out.
They've been doing horror all month, and it's been super awesome.
It has been. So yeah, great first 50 episodes.
Hopefully this is the worst 50th episode we've ever done.
50?
Yeah.
And hopefully there's to another 50, and to think it all started like this. Sitting here with Alex Klier, our senior space correspondent. Alex, when is space not space?
When it's not in space.
Knowledge.
CBS is for old people. I made it known. Anyone who's ever talked to me, I've said it. I mean, old people just turn it on and then they leave it on. It's why it's the #1 watch television network in America.
What do you define as old?
Senior citizenship.
Because I leave the TV on sometimes now.
Right.
And I'm in my 20s.
Yeah. And what channel is it on?
Oh, well, CBS.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Never go towards CBS.
I saw G.I. Joe in theaters because the movie, took a girl on a date and the movie was sold out and we're like, I guess we could see G.I. Joe.
There was not a second date.
That was it. We only had one date. I couldn't place it. What happened there?
Because you couldn't beat that date?
Yeah, that's once you get to the top of Everest, I mean, you're not going to climb Everest again. So we
Which
just kind of
G.I. Joe was it?
The first one.
Oh, okay. Well, at least it wasn't as
You
bad.
get a lot of Channing in that one. That's good.
You get a lot of Channing, but it is. I was upset. It's not just like sitting there. Yeah, this is not good. I was like, why is this happening? Why am I watching this now?
Gosh.
It was quite a night, and by that I mean it ended pretty quickly.
A memory, not even a memory, will become a whatever. So, and it drills, and
Nothing
then she
happened.
comes up to him. She's like, "Oh, do you remember me?" And he's like, "Oh, I'd remember you anywhere." So this is the least effective drill system on the planet. It does nothing. It does nothing.
Either A, this was just a terrible drill, or B, he really didn't do his research on where parts of the brain
Where
are.
to do it?
Or C, this is really just a testament to the power of love.
No.
And that one take shots, Finn was watching him pilot, and we don't know for sure that it's, well, I guess we do because we see him coming up.
Yeah, it's definitely him.
But I mean, it is him. Yeah. But you don't know if necessarily the viewer. But then immediately, because you don't know right away it's him, and then all of a sudden, in the first 3 seconds of the shot, he kills 4 TIE fighters in 3 seconds. You're just like, oh, this guy's good. And he spins around and kills 3 more TIE fighters. Like, oh, this dude's really good. And then spins around and kills 4 stormtroopers on around. You're like, oh.
Like individuals.
Oh, yeah.
This dude is that hotness.
Oh, and then he spins around again and then blows up 4 more. He blows up 9 TIE fighters and 4 stormtroopers in 15 seconds of film.
They need to clone him.
And you're like, yeah, you're right. He is the best pilot.
Yeah, so much so that they needed a character on the ground in Finn to yell out, now that's a pilot. Look at that. You see that?
Finn was everybody in the theater at that moment, just like, Jesus,
yeah, that dude's killing it.
It was awesome. I love it. It was my favorite scene of the movie.
FX yesterday.
Oh,
Watched it.
okay.
And Miles Teller, his character is actually Miles Teller.
Oh, yeah, he's a college
That was the
jock,
first
that's
movie
right.
I ever saw him in, yeah.
What's he doing it? I've never seen it.
He's like the cool guy who graduates high school, who got really good at baseball, and they see him hey, you should come to this party, and he's like, I'm actually already going to it. And they're like, cool.
I'm Miles Teller, actor. I'm not going to this party. Is that what he says?
Well, no, kind of.
So wait, is he playing Miles Teller the actor, or is he playing a dude named Miles Teller?
Miles
Teller.
Teller.
A different path?
Miles Teller's playing a dude named Miles Teller, and the 3 guys run into him at a grocery store. I'm like, hey, Mytel, you should come to this party. It's on Dickens Street. He's like, cool. Wait, Dickens Street? I'm actually already going to it. Sweet, I'll see you guys tonight. Because by this point, the party had gotten so big that even he already heard about it.
Even Miles Teller, not actor.
Not drummer.
I just wasn't thinking.
Keep
okay?
going. Keep going. We're almost halfway there.
Sam, do you want to tell the story?
No. Keep going. Keep going. No, you're doing great. Keep going. All right.
The higher his voice gets, the more lying he's doing.
We're doing super good.
And Willie
And
Nelson
Susan
shows up.
Sarandon. And, you know, we can
And
keep
who
going
also
on
makes
and
a
on.
solid Rocky Horror reference, which I don't think either of you guys caught either.
Yeah, I didn't because I'm not a huge
I
fan
thought
of that
that.
movie.
Whoa. Who was that? Because I totally thought it was Sigourney Weaver.
Nope, Susan Sarandon. Yeah, but that happens with people all the time.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm crazy.
We should mention that last week's correspondent, Zach McMahon, actually works with Adam Banks at Soho.
Shut up!
Yes. He talked about
What?
it. Yes.
And then he hates it.
He hates it. Everyone calls him Cake Eater, and he hates it.
I hope he listens to the cast because we just outed him for our small fan base.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Wow.
This is just a bad parenting movie. It's not a sports movie.
Oh, no.
This is just what not to do as a parent.
Bad News Bears is a bad parenting movie.
Oh,
Those
absolutely.
parents don't give a shit. No. And it's what I told you earlier. It's like this is a man who has had 3 daughters die, and he only has 2.
And then they wrote themselves in such a corner too, because all right, people are pissed that she's dead, but then if she comes back, people are still gonna be pissed, rightfully so, because then death means nothing even more. It's like, how many times can Lance see his daughter die and be like, oh, my baby girl, you son of a bitch, and then have him come back?
No, then any movie with 2 characters in it is a buddy movie.
That's what I'm asking. Sorry.
Where do we draw the line?
Exactly.
That's what we're
Transformers, buddy movie.
Shia LaBeouf and Bumblebee. Yeah.
Indiana Jones, buddy movie.
Him in Short Round, absolutely.
Jaws, buddy movie.
The Shark and
Alien,
Richard Dreyfuss.
and Human Blood.
And Human Blood.
You could even say Buried, which is a movie with Ryan Reynolds with just him in a coffin, but he does talk to someone on the phone. Buddy movie. Yeah. Didn't we have this same debate when we were talking about party movies? Something similar to this, like what constitutes a party? Anything where there's more than 4 people in a room is a party movie.
Saw.
It's kind of overlapping.
Saw is a party movie. You don't think so until the very end, and you're like, oh, there's 3 people in that room? Party movie. A great way to start this off, but I believe that this battle ends immediately. Because I don't think there's an episode of Batman 66 that doesn't involve Batman and Burt Ward standing side by side while Burt Ward twiddles his fingers trying to figure out something. So I think at this point, they're twiddling their fingers trying to figure out what that guy is, and that guy, so ready to not do this anymore, just kills him. And does kind of from Batman vs. Superman, where he flies right by as if Burt Ward is Lois Lane and just kills Batman. Burt Ward still twiddling his fingers, not knowing what has happened. And that's how that fight ends.
Holy cut in 2, Batman.
No, okay. Push comes to shove. Do the wine method. Don't get the cheapest hotel. Second cheapest hotel.
3 Wise Radio!
Tell a fucking story.
That's
You're not
what
great because, like, ooh, it's up to you. Anytime I read and somebody's like, well, I liked it to be kind of up to the mind of the person. Like, no.
So you didn't have it planned out.
You can do the elements. You can do the elements of the horror. The only genre that kind of keeps that is horror, because it's like the dark is scary because it's unknown. Beyond that, like, explain yourself to dictate a good story.
The only thing that's ever been able to posit an actual question in my mind and not answer it in such a way that does leave it is not X-Men First Class, because I don't really care for that, but Daredevil. Daredevil Season 2 rooftop scene. The only time I have ever seen any story legitimately posit the idea that, like, which, I don't know, man, me as Mike Reynolds, I can't speak for anybody else.
I know what you're going to say.
Me watching, I was legitimately like, I get it, man. I see Daredevil's everlasting hope, but with the Punisher, you put them down, they stay down. God, I don't know. I'm torn.
That was the whole point of that scene, yeah?
That's the whole point of that scene, and that's the only any incarnation of that idea, be it like First Class or anytime they have ever. That's the only one that I always think.
Of like the 2 ways to do something.
Yeah, of just like that legitimate left it up to me as the audience member, and I didn't have an answer in that moment. I love that scene.
So what do you do? I'm just trying to know if I should cross you later or not.
I think in the end I went Daredevil. For the same reason that I think I could, as much as I love the idea, I don't think I could ever be a Sith. I'd probably be a Jedi.
I mean, it only takes once. Just one little mistake.
Mistake.
And then you'll be
It did
killing
be a
you.
mistake.
It's true. It's true.
I would argue that Anakin Skywalker cutting off Mace Windu's hand was like a mistake. It's like, whoop, oh shit.
Yeah.
Crime of passion, that's all it takes.
Man, you could argue that he could have come back from that.
No.
I think he does in the end, apparently, in Jedi.
Who?
Anakin,
not Mace.
Not Mace Windu.
There's theories that Mace is Snoke.
That's Snoke. I saw that. I don't know.
It makes no sense. There's no logic behind it.
My only theory with Anakin is that, like, and I've only seen X amount of Walking Dead, but Carl's story from season 1 to about season 3 or so, that is Anakin. Like, that is the story of what Anakin should have been in the prequels. It should have been a story about Obi-Wan. He would have been a protagonist, but in the background, Carl's story is Anakin's story, where he goes from, like, kid pre-outbreak to shooting his mom. That's my theory.
Ooh, that would have been good.
If you had a lightsaber in a zombie apocalypse, that'd be great.
Dude, if you had a
Just don't let Usain Bolt get it.
Yeah.
No, because he's hyper intelligent. Usain Bolt could be an idiot. You don't know that. He might not know how to. He might turn the lightsaber right on himself immediately.
You might.
Just saying.
You guys ready to do this?
I've never seen him win a spelling bee or anything.
Just Usain Bolt zombie. Just strap a lightsaber to his hand.
Just have him
Facts. That is your end-all weapon for if you want to go back in time to the Revolutionary War. You have your armies lining up opposite. You have Usain Bolt just run down one. Just
flank them and just a human lawnmower.
Oh my god, the carnage. Wouldn't even be that.
There wouldn't be that much carnage because it cauterized all wounds.
That's it. It cauterized all the wounds. Man.
Cleanest battlefield you ever saw.
So you tell me you got some of that.
Good.
Oh boy.
Let's do this.
What are we talking about?
Three Wise Radio is a production of Three Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.